Ah yes, the Namor, Flexus Arroganticus, half king, half fish, and fully allergic to shirts. Observe as he glides into battle, chin high, chest bare, radiating the quiet confidence of a man who thinks being royalty automatically makes him invincible. And should that confidence fail, he simply blows a horn and lets a giant sea monster do the fighting for him. Truly, nature's most hydrated egomaniac. Here we see Namor, king of Atlantis, boldly charging 6 opponents. A brave move, or foolish, but the king fights dirty, armed with 2 pocket squids, still alive somehow. These tiny terrors once felled gods, yet today they fail him. For Squirrel Girl and Groot unite, shattering his reign and his teeth. His final words? A royal protest. That's not fair. It was 2 against 1. And so, the king returns, fueled not by honor, but by pure spite. Squirrel Girl is the first casualty, flattened like roadkill. Groot, in sheer panic, throws up a wall and tries to escape. A noble effort, and utterly useless. Once Namor chooses his prey, not even IKEA instructions can save you. Groot is reduced to splinters, then stomped on repeatedly. Less a battle, more a royal tantrum. Final tally. Namor 1, Squirrel Girl and Groot 1. Once more, the king charges into battle, rage still burning. This time he summons Big Bertha the whale to finish the job. Groot, by the skin of his bark, scrambles away and flees in panic. But Namor's fury needs a victim. His eyes lock on Squirrel Girl. What happens next? Well, we cannot legally describe it. Final tally. Namor 2, Squirrel Girl and Groot 1. Hearing the cries of his subjects, the king storms back onto the battlefield. He spots an Emma ultimate and, like any opportunistic predator, pounces. Big Bertha. The whale is summoned once more, and this time she lands. Who's beneath her? Groot, of course, not chance, but a calculated act of royal pettiness. But tragedy doesn't end there. Poor Jeff, the innocent nightmare, is caught in the splash zone. Flattened. Gone. A dark day for Groot, but an even darker one for Jeff mains everywhere. The fight rages on, each combatant giving their all. At the front lines, as always, stands Namor, and his first victim, Squirrel Girl. Again. At this point, one has to wonder, was it strategy, or simply a grudge so deep he'd chase her to the ends of the earth? With Squirrel Girl handled, he turns on Penny. Outmatched, she wisely tries to flee. But Namor, still cradling his grudges, calls upon Big Bertha once more. Groot, scarred from previous whale encounters, freezes in terror, likely realizing that, yes, grass does in fact lose to water. Yet fate spares him. Bertha lands, but Groot escapes by the bark of his teeth. Desperate, he unleashes his ultimate, joined by Squirrel Girl, returning for revenge. 2 ultimates, all aimed at Namor. And yet, he endures. In the end, it is not flash or fury that decides the battle, but something far simpler. 2 squids and a shirtless dude. This is Captain America. Today, we observe the defining traits of this remarkable species. What you have just witnessed is its rare, battle-right display, a ritual of discipline and ferocity, brutal, yet oddly beautiful, as nature so often is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called yanking it. It's showtime. Our specimen collides with a Black Panther, who, out of fear, freezes in place. The Captain America, or for the more gifted-minded, Shieldy Boy, begins his aura-farming ritual. Summoning his courage, the Black Panther decides to test the waters. He bumps into the captain, who takes great offense. For Shield Boy, a bump is never innocent. It is a declaration of war, a challenge for territory. The Panther puts up a respectable fight, but ultimately falls before the captain's shield. After all, who could hope to survive when their skull is cracked by vibranium? Continuing his rampage, our specimen encounters a Black Widow. Upon sighting him, she delivers a vicious strike aimed directly at his most delicate region. Luckily, he reacts in time, shielding his offspring from devastation. Defeated, Shield Boy flees the battlefield, not without sustaining punishing blows to his hindquarters. One must wonder, how exactly will he relieve himself now? Reeling from the back shots, Shield Boy takes down the Black Widow before turning his sights on Adam. As expected, Adam ults in sheer panic, classic Adamane behavior, choosing the most peculiar nesting ground imaginable. He falls quickly, yet with his final gasp, still manages to bring his entire team back. The fight rages on, everyone doing something. Some actually helping, others mostly just flailing. Shield Boy lunges just in time to save his ally, who was completely at the mercy of a most peculiar predator. And of all things, it's an Adam. Didn't you already check out earlier? And despite his best effort, Adam still perishes. Yep, nobody's surprised. Nature called it from a mile away, reuniting with his supposedly dead teammates. Because Adamanes are nothing if not dramatic. One moment gone, the next back, and getting taken out all over again. Our specimen charges in once more. Cloak and Dagger throw some dirt right into his eyes. Blinded, disoriented, and yet, somehow, Captain still manages to take down the Black Panther. I suppose the smell of fear was simply too irresistible to ignore. Cloak delivers another dirt serving and meets his demise. Frustrated, Captain turns to Black Widow and the peculiar Doctor Strange, leading to her demise too. Whilst most creatures would perish when struck, Captain remains completely unfazed. This species thrives under harsh conditions. Observe him strolling through Cloak's ultimate while still bothering his support. Someone really needs a restraining order on this man. Or maybe two. He persists, pushing forward. Black Widow, sensing danger, tries to flee, but Captain's shield has other plans, breaking her spine in two. Nature is brutal, yet oddly efficient. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you never outrun a walking vibranium wrecking ball. Whilst engaged in his aura farming ritual, Captain bumps into Invisible Woman, who out of fear holds her breath and position. A tiny escape of gas draws our specimen back. Fortunately, she is saved. Black Panther, on the other hand, fares far worse. Our specimen, now feeling invisible, moves to the enemy team's spawn to aura farm once again. However, Black Panther, having had enough, dashes through, taking out 3 prey, Captain included. Let's just hope he doesn't come back for revenge. Black Panther and Captain meet again. One out for revenge, the other pleading for his life. Somehow, Black Panther convinces Captain to leave, with the promise of a secret stash. I think we all know what it is, and like a cockroach, he scurries away to harass the next prey. Sporting Emma Frost, he gives chase, every swing aimed and directed at her. She falls, followed immediately by a shield into the ribcage of Psylocke. Where's the Mortal Kombat guy when you need him? Next, Cloak gets the same treatment. Not a hero, not a villain, but a public menace with a shield. Truly, nature's restraining order waiting to happen.
In the vast, chaotic savanna of the Marvel rivals exist many strange and marvelous creatures. From walking trees to rats with huge guns, definitely not compensating for anything, to genocidal nightmares disguised as cute and harmless. But today, we encounter one of the rarest and most fascinating creatures in the ecosystem, the Payload Princess. Observe her closely. She does not chase kills. She does not leap into danger. No. She moves with the calm grace of someone who understands her true purpose. She approaches the payload, gently, reverently, and then sits upon it with the confidence of a monarch reclaiming ancestral land. Around her, allies scream, struggle, and fight desperately for survival. Yet, the Payload Princess remains entirely unbothered, calm, steady, and committed to one secret duty. This payload must move. Whether I move with it or die with it, that is life. Occasionally, a wild Magneto or Rocket Raccoon attempts to remove her, but she clings on with remarkable determination, like a stubborn goat refusing to leave someone else's backyard. Her damage numbers? Minimal. Her kill count? Painfully low. But her contribution to the ecosystem? Absolutely essential. Because when the match reaches overtime and the entire battlefield collapses into chaos, it is she, the humble Payload Princess, who drags the entire team towards victory, inch by determined inch. And when the screen flashes victory, her teammates rejoices. Yet deep down within her heart, she knows the truth. Without her, they would all be staring at the defeat screen. A mysterious, noble creature, often mocked, rarely appreciated, but forever the silent backbone of the rival ecosystem.
Your powers are mine! Armed and dangerous! Judge, jury, executioner!